This is ABC15 Mornings.
Breaking this morning, a fire rips through the headquarters of the Arizona Democratic Party. We are live at the scene with the latest on this investigation and the damage.
We cannot let up. That is the message from Governor Doug Ducey as he announces some businesses will not be reopening next week as our state works to reduce the spread of COVID-19.
And it is finally Friday. We saw a little bit of rain in the last 24 hours, depending on where you're at. Are we going to see any more in the forecast? We're going to answer that for you in just a second. In the meantime, we say good morning. Happy Friday. Nick Saletti here in studio. Kaylee O'Kelly is off today, so our pal Allison Rodriguez is here, social distancing from home today. Hey, A-Rod, happy Friday.
Hey, good morning to you, Nick, and everybody at home. Happy to be with you guys on this Friday. I don't know, something in the air when it's Friday, right? You can just tell. You wake up and you got a smile on your face. Also in the air, don't know if it's going to rain or not. We want to check in with meteorologist Iris Hermosillo, who is keeping track of our skies with that most accurate forecast. Good morning, Iris.
Good morning. I've got a pretty good indication. We've got a shot at thunderstorms once again today as we head into the afternoon. A few spotty storms are possible this evening too. Right now, though, if you're stepping outside, you'll feel the humidity, but no rain out there. We are looking at mostly clear skies in the Phoenix area. Not the case to our east. We're starting to see a few more of those showers developing out near Safford, also across Pima County, near San Carlos and Globe, and just south of Payson. Also seeing some more storms moving towards the Flagstaff area. So heads up, Flagstaff. Looks like you're going to get in on some rain here shortly as that storm continues to push from the south your way. For the Phoenix area, again, humid to start, but temperatures are still feeling pretty good. 70s and 80s here as you get ready to head out the door. 82 officially at Sky Harbor. Mid-90s by lunchtime, and then we'll reach a high of 101. There's that chance for storms later today. I'm going to take you through that hour-by-hour storm forecast in just a few minutes. But for now, I want to send it over to Chelsea Davis, who's watching our Friday morning drive.
Hey, good morning, Iris. Yes, it's a beautiful day out here. Friday light so far with our accident log group traffic maps. Lots of green. We still have a couple flooded areas on the west side of town, more so surface street level. There's one at Narrowmore Road in the westbound direction at Airport, and then also closer to Buckeye State Route 85, but it's on Old US 80 at Patterson Road. So I'll keep watching that and let you know what else we find. The rest of your commute, though, quiet making your way into downtown Phoenix, especially from the west side of town if you use I-10. North stretch, if you're heading up I-17, just a heads up, if you want to hop on the freeway there, that on-ramp at Cactus, it's actually closed for construction work through 2 o'clock. So if you want, you could use Peoria, you could use Thunderbird, lots of different options there instead. North Valley overall, though, pretty quiet still, and same story on the east side of town with desert drive times that are just reflecting a beautiful start to the day, low drive times overall.
Chelsea, thank you for that. Now to that breaking news we've been following all morning as investigators are on scene right now, looking into a fire that broke out at the Arizona Democratic Party headquarters. This happened overnight. Jamie Warren is live near Central and Thomas with the latest on this. So, Jamie, you've been out there all morning. What are you finding out?
Well, Nick, now that the sun is up, we are starting to see more of the damage out here. Go ahead and take a look. The building still standing, but the outside is charred, and the inside where those doors were, clearly some fire damage. We have Phoenix police still out here this morning. They have the building fenced off here as they continue their investigation throughout the day. And video from overnight shows smoke coming from inside of this building, which is the office for the Arizona Democratic Party. Phoenix Fire says they were called here just after 1 o'clock this morning after getting reports that it was on fire. At least a dozen fire trucks arrived, and we were there as firefighters were going in and out of this building working to put out the flames. Phoenix Fire Captain Rob McDade says crews worked to make sure no one was inside and no injuries were reported. He says the cause of this fire still under investigation this morning. We are still working to get you more information. We have also reached out to the chair of the Arizona Democratic Party and are still waiting to hear back. For now, we're live in Phoenix. I'm Jamie Warren, ABC 15 Arizona.
All right, Jamie, thank you. Arizona now approaching 153,000 confirmed coronavirus cases. More than 3,000 people have died from the virus. Governor Doug Ducey announcing some new action as our state works to reduce the spread. So bars, gyms, nightclubs, movie theaters, and tubing are all going to stay closed, at least for now. The executive order for those businesses was originally set to expire on Monday, and now it's going to stay in effect indefinitely. Blue Clover out in Old Town Scottsdale has been closed since March. The distillery now producing hand sanitizer and spirits to sell in stores, but the owner says he is tired of waiting for the green light to open up again.
I think more and more people are getting used to how things operate inside of a public facility. And I think that, like, come on, I mean, let us try and regulate inside of our own house what we can.
State leaders telling us they're going to reevaluate the order every 2 weeks.
Well, some other big takeaways from the governor's press conference. A new ad campaign is in the works to encourage everybody to wear a mask. And as far as testing, Governor Ducey says ASU will expand its COVID-19 saliva test program, and the backlog of more than 60,000 tests should be cleared up by the end of this month. The governor also stressing that demand for getting tested has not kept up with supplies, so he's urging anyone to take the time and go to a testing site.
Now to a developing story for you this morning. OSHA, along with Phoenix Police, are investigating a deadly trench collapse. We're told crews were working on a sewer line project near 107th Avenue in Missouri Thursday when the sides of the ditch collapsed. An officer tried to dig the workers out, but just couldn't get through.
You can imagine is weighing heavy on that officer, and it's one of those things that I guarantee you he'll remember. It's very sad to not be able to provide some of that help and that service to someone who needs it at that moment.
Yeah, just heartbreaking for everyone involved here. It's unclear how deep the trench was at the time of the collapse. Crews are reconstructing that scene as part of the investigation. Very sad situation.
Well, this weekend services will begin for the late civil rights icon Congressman John Lewis. A memorial will be held tomorrow in his home state of Alabama. His body will then lie in repose in Selma before a procession across the Edmund Pettus Bridge on Sunday, where he helped lead the March for Voter Rights back in 1965 and was badly beaten on Bloody Sunday. There will also be services in D.C. and Georgia before Lewis will be laid to rest next Thursday. Well, for months, discussions about race have been taking place. We're seeing this in the workplace, in our communities, with law enforcement, also sometimes within our own homes. So new this morning, an advocacy group has started a year-long conversation. Mark Thompson joining us now with this. Mark, the first event began this week. Really important work that's happening here. So explain to us how they're doing this.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. Good morning to you. And the group is named Healing Racism Arizona. And for years now, they've been hosting forums, educational forums, to discuss that all important and very difficult at times topic of race. Now, as you mentioned this week, they began a year-long series titled Studies in Whiteness. Since the death of George Floyd, we have seen demonstrations, and the group points out that we're seeing a lot more white people, more than ever before, taking part in some of these protests, the protests even spilling out into some suburban areas. One of the organizers says that online events like they're now hosting are meant to focus on understanding where you come from.
When you're part of the dominant culture, one of the privileges, if I might say, of that is not having to think about that. And most of us haven't thought about what it means to be white. Whereas if you're a person of color, you've faced that every day of your life.
The organization talks about racism from a historical perspective, from the Dred Scott case to the Tulsa massacre, but they take white supremacy, for example, a bit further than just hate groups, and they define it as something a bit more broad.
White supremacy, we're not talking of, well, that's a manifestation like the KKK or groups like that. It's more of understanding the notion that whiteness is the norm and the benchmark against which everything else is measured.
Healing Racism Arizona says to further open the dialogue, people, they cannot shame or attack one another. Very important points here. Conversations work best, they say, when there is no right or wrong, but rather teaching, learning, and understanding. Healing Racism Arizona, they're going to host their next online forum coming up in the first week of August, and you can find all of that information if you want to participate and sign up. That's on their Facebook page. Reporting live this morning, Mark Thompson, ABC 15 Arizona. Back to you.
Mark, thank you. Ahead on ABC 15 Mornings, the push to get everybody counted. Census Bureau workers heading out today to some of the most underrepresented communities.
And our Arizona Diamondbacks ready to take the field. Fans ready to see the team's new star pitcher take the mound. How the league is working to make athletes feel comfortable playing in front of empty seats.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
Welcome back, everybody. Ooh, lost my voice there for a second. Welcome back, everyone. It is Friday, as I like to say, and we are seeing Friday-like conditions on our Accident Law Group traffic maps. We don't have a ton going on our Valley freeways. That's where we're just going to focus for this traffic hit here. East Valley overall showing quiet conditions, even Loop 202 South Mountain if you're traveling to or from the west side of town to the East Valley. I-10, Loop 101, US 60, and all the 202s are actually clear. North Valley overall, the 303, Carefree Highway, I-17, the 51, all looking good. West side of town, same story as you're making your way into downtown Phoenix. Your desert drive time is very low, especially if you're on I-10 right now, because you're not seeing delays through the stack or the mini stack. Take a look at our ADOT camera. I-10 in the eastbound direction near 43rd Avenue. It's kind of off to the left side of your screen. There's actually a broken down big rig. It's off to the right shoulder, and again, not blocking lanes or causing any big backups, but just putting it on your radar in case a tow truck comes out and in case that changes the story. So I'll definitely keep you posted. For now, let's send it to Iris.
All right, Chelsea. Well, hey, as we talk about that most accurate forecast, we were all hoping for more thunderstorms yesterday, but it was a little bit of a struggle to get those storms going, and we ended up having several factors working against us. One of those factors, an inversion, so warmer air higher up in the atmosphere that just doesn't allow for those storms to get going, and there's stable air aloft, so all that contributes to, again, the lack of storms. Drier air higher up in the atmosphere, too. We had that. We had the moisture we were feeling at the surface, but not much higher up. And then we had those clouds thanks to all of those storms in southeast Arizona that developed early in the morning, and that limited our daytime heating. So a lot to overcome yesterday, and it's the reason we only saw a few thunderstorms. Now today, we've got that moisture. You'll feel it when you step outside. We're also going to have the heat. I think we're going to see mostly sunny conditions through much of the day, at least through the morning and early afternoon. That will help kind of heat up our atmosphere a little bit more. The thing we're lacking is the energy is not that great today, or not as great as it was even yesterday. So we're going to have to rely on thunderstorms in our surrounding areas, in the mountains and in areas to our southeast, to send those outflow winds our way that could generate new thunderstorms. And that's what we'll be watching for here this afternoon. Right now, as I take you to Desert Doppler radar, we've got some storms to our north and to our east, but the valley waking up to mostly clear conditions and cooler temperatures too, in case you want to get outside for a morning walk. We're all dry. To our north, though, we do have a few thunderstorms developing north of Baghdad, and then also Flagstaff, heads up, you've got some rain moving through right now, some pockets of heavier rain and a little bit of lightning too heading your way. In the eastern portions of the valley across Gila County, near Globe and San Carlos and Cibecue, a few light showers pushing through. And then I'm also watching an area of thunderstorms moving north across the Mexico border into Sierra Vista. Plenty of cloud cover in southeast Arizona too. We're going to need some more breaks in those clouds to get the atmosphere kind of to heat things up rather, and kind of get the atmosphere going for storms developing here this afternoon. So let me take you to Futurecast. Our best storm potential, again, as we get some daytime heating, will be in northern Arizona and in eastern Arizona. And you see those storms popping up by around 1 o'clock here this afternoon as things start to heat up, especially east of us and north of us. Southeast Arizona will get a little active again today, although I don't expect as much action as they had yesterday morning, but still some storms are possible in southeast Arizona. And then again, we'll have to watch for a few storms that could develop in the valley. There's a chance for spotty storms in the afternoon, and then this evening those storm chances get a little bit higher. So we'll start with a 10% chance around 1 o'clock. That climbs to a 20% chance by 5 p.m. and then a 30% chance after 7 p.m. Are storms likely and a given? No, but there's a chance for those storms. And when storms develop, they will be capable of producing some heavier rainfall, some stronger winds. We'll have to watch for some pockets of dust as well. The flooding concern is also there over our burn scar locations, and especially down near the Bighorn Fire in Tucson, where a flash flood watch is in effect. So keep an eye on the sky today, and just know that storms can get going. In the meantime, though, get outside and enjoy the great temperatures this morning. It's 77 in Mesa and in Chandler, 78 in Surprise, 80 in Peoria. Across Arizona, 50s and 60s up north with temperatures in the mid-80s out at Lake Havasu and Bullhead City. We'll end up with a high of 101 today in Phoenix, 70s and 80s across much of northern Arizona. That high of 101, though, means that we won't see those triple digits until about the middle of the afternoon. So you've got some time again to enjoy those more comfortable temperatures this morning. Just know that it's going to be a little humid as you step outside. Low hundreds again tomorrow after starting out with temperatures in the low 80s tomorrow morning. A slight chance for storms and dust Saturday, isolated chances for storms Sunday and Monday, and then hotter and drier next week.
Iris, thank you. Let's get to your top stories right now. Breaking overnight, China is ordering the U.S. to close its consulate in a southwestern city there. This is all in retaliation for the U.S. ordering the Chinese consulate in Houston to close earlier this week. The Chinese Foreign Ministry says it's open to reconciliation and is calling on the U.S. to reverse course. New guidelines from the FDA could make opioid prescriptions a little safer. The agency is now asking doctors to talk about Narcan with their patients and they write opioid prescriptions for it. Narcan is an overdose reversal drug that can be bought at a pharmacy without a prescription. More movie delays because of the pandemic. Disney announcing the release of Mulan is going to be delayed indefinitely. The upcoming Avatar sequels and the next Star Wars movie have all been pushed back a year as well. The decision's coming after AMC announced it won't reopen its theaters in the U.S. until mid to late August.
So as for our locally based theater chain, Harkins is still working on what's next for its properties. The CEO releasing a letter discussing the challenges that still lie ahead. Mike Bauer says the goal is to reopen a week or two before the movie studios start to release new films. And when that day does come, Bauer says guests will have to follow new safety protocols. Hey, it is the moment Arizona sports fans have been waiting to see for months. So tonight, finally, Madison Bumgarner takes the mound. In the offseason, the star pitcher, you may recall, signed an $85 million contract. He also owns 3 World Series rings and a World Series MVP, but who's bragging? Bumgarner could be the key to the D-backs making a run in the postseason.
Well, tonight, yeah, that'd be nice, right? Hey, tonight the 2020 season starts 3.5 months later than usual. And it might be strange to watch without any fans in the stadium, but the sounds of the crowd, that will not disappear.
Major League Baseball will have sound inside the empty ballparks. There will be a distinct buzz of a crowd.
Just to try to create the most authentic experience that we can during this interesting time.
He's set to lead off the home half of the second.
The creators of Major League Baseball's official video game filling the silence by using a large collection of real sounds.
And we've been going to stadiums for over the last 10 years, so we have a giant catalog of audio.
The catalog contains reactions to anything from a routine play.
Throw to first in plenty of time, and the side is retired.
To a home run.
Driven to right field and deep. And that one is gone!
Each reaction digitally remastered for the stadium setting. League officials are hoping those sounds will make players feel more comfortable.
Baseball players aren't used to playing in completely empty stadiums, and that would be a little weird. So we're just trying to do what we can to provide a little normalcy.
Stadium sound engineers for each team will have access to 75 different effects and reactions.
So every single Major League Baseball team will be able to watch the game in real time and slide those events and those reactions up and down so it sounds authentic.
Well, the hope is that crowd noise and walk-up music and stadium announcers and video will replicate the in-game experience as much as possible. First pitch for the D-backs is set for 6:10 tonight. Phoenix Rising also on the road this weekend. They'll play Orange County tomorrow night. You can watch all the action live on the CW61 Arizona starting at 7 p.m. or stream it live on the ABC15 mobile app, Roku, and the streaming devices. And we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
An umbrella can keep you dry when it starts to pour, but it's a struggle to get it closed and into the door. Then it drips and makes messes all over the floor. Well, not anymore.
This is the Betterbrella. It has what's called reverse open and close technology.
Check out the difference. My regular umbrella opens straight out, whereas the Betterbrella website states that it opens upside down and inside out. One of the claims is that when you close the Betterbrella, all of the water is going to stay inside and prevent puddles. So here's a hose. Let's test it out. We added some water from the hose and it didn't leak. It only came out when we turned it upside down onto the ground. It's also supposed to be easier to close and get indoors. Here's my first umbrella. And here's the Betterbrella. The results about the same to me. My husband used the hose to create fake rain. As I stood in place using the Betterbrella, it actually kept me drier than the regular umbrella because the canopy is a bit wider. After the fake rain test, when we closed each umbrella, the Betterbrella was much drier than my regular umbrella. The Betterbrella is also supposed to be windproof. We're talking wind speeds in excess of 50 miles per hour, but we did not test that claim though. On the Betterbrella website, it comes in 3 colors, black, red, or blue. But there are more options on Amazon. I went with the zebra print for $27.98. Most of them range in price from $15.99 to $19.99 though. So where does the Betterbrella rank on our bowl or no bowl meter? I'm going with Noble! It could come in handy for monsoon storms. For more on our test, go to abc15.com/smartshopper.
Or if you're trying to recreate a Rihanna video. Chelsea, thank you for that. Good one. Hey, a Swift surprise this morning. Pop star Taylor Swift dropped a new album at midnight. Have you listened yet?
So you know what, I was just kind of taking a listen to hear what these songs are all about. So the singer says she wrote and recorded Folklore over the past few months while she was in quarantine. Now she did have some help from some co-writers. The new music video for her song Cardigan was also released at midnight. Wow, she makes good use of her time, doesn't she, Nick?
Absolutely, putting us all to shame. Yeah, I haven't heard it yet. I like Taylor Swift, but I haven't listened to it yet, so I have to do that after the show. Hey, next at 6:30, the governor and the state superintendent refusing to set a date yet. So when will kids actually go back to the classroom? That's now up to each individual district.
And breaking overnight, a fire at the Arizona Democratic Party headquarters. We are taking you live with the latest on this investigation.